Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Welcome to Business Ninjas. I'm here with Pierre Lipton from 1440. Hey, Pierre, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. Well, tell me a little bit about your company and your background and how you got started.
Yeah. So I'm Pierre. I'm the co-founder and COO of 1440. We started the business about 4.5 years ago now. We were just frustrated news consumers. So there were kind of three angles that were really frustrating to us, just as regular people with no experience in journalism, might I add. We were really kind of disenchanted by the fragmentation of the news landscape. So we found that if we wanted to stay up to date on like sports news, we went to ESPN, and then for culture, we went to TMZ, and business, we went to Wall Street Journal. And by the end of the day, we had spent 5 hours wasted on news consumption. So fragmentation was really frustrating. The rise of the paywall was becoming incredibly concerning and increasingly concerning. So Wall Street Journal, New York Times, now Reuters they all cost money to subscribe to, which is dangerous when the poorer Americans, lower income Americans can't afford the highest quality journalism. So that's something we were watching as well. And then lastly, no unique observation of ours was the polarization of the media. So you have two people along incredibly similar demographics, but one watches Fox News and one watches CNN. Doesn't matter who you align with politically. It's very strange and to us concerning that they have fundamentally different understandings of what's happening in the world, not just opinions on the world. So anyway, we saw those three things. We thought, hey, we think we can do better. Let's make a minimum viable product that's scalable and hopefully cheap. And we actually sent a chain email to 78 friends and family. The idea was it would be comprehensive, so covering all these verticals that I mentioned. It would be free, with eventually the plan of selling ads within the newsletter. And then lastly, it would be as unbiased as humanly possible. And that's been a core tenet to date. So we lean really heavily on facts, data, first party evidence to cover our reporting. And that's been something that our readers have really valued since then. So like I said, we started with 78 friends and family. We scaled and scaled and scaled. So today we actually sent this morning's newsletter to 1.94 million subscribers. So
fantastic.
Yeah, we should hit 2 million pretty quickly. We have the highest engagement rates in the industry that we're aware of, at least. And we reached this really awesome audience of primarily college educated, but really critically, a third of the audience is Democrat, a third is Republican, and a third is independent. So we're reaching this like wide swath of Americans across the political boundaries. So we've become what we like to call like a meeting place between political ideologies, where we're not political. We're just trying to tell people what happened and let them come to their own conclusions. So that's the gist of it. Sorry for rambling.
No, that's awesome. That's so compelling. I love the idea. And so if you're left leaning or right leaning or central, are you getting the same news from from all these different sources, or are you sort of like fed your personalized version of what's going on, or how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, in the pre-1440 paradigm, and others are trying to come after this issue as well, but pre kind of our involvement in the space, a lot of people would find themselves going deeper and deeper within their echo chambers. So someone on the right would read a right-leaning source and then have these right-leaning ideologies, and then Facebook would serve them content that leans or that aligns with those values, and you just get deeper and deeper and deeper into these echo chambers, and the same applies to the left there. So yeah, our hope and what we're really proud of is we send everyone the same newsletter, I should say. So everyone sees the same thing. And sometimes it's polarizing to people, but what we try to do is just take our opinions out of it. No one cares what we think. We know that, and we're not ashamed of that. So we just tell people, we give like this best effort product of just here are the facts and come to your own conclusions. And your conclusions might be different. Your opinions after reading it might be different, but at least you have the same underlying set of facts.
It's really cool because it helps to break down those walls, actually, of giving different opinions, and breaks the echo chamber kind of concept.
Yeah, and we hope that we're making like Thanksgiving lunch or dinner a lot easier. But we'll see.
That's really cool. And so, when somebody gets your newsletter, what's the typical length of it? How many articles are there? What does that look like for anybody that's listening?
It's roughly a 3 to 5 minute read, 3 to 6 minute read. The idea is we cover the top 3 stories of the day, so that's irrespective of industry or geography. And then we have our verticalized sections. So you get your top 3 stories in sports, entertainment, and culture, in science and technology, in business and markets, and in politics and world affairs. So you get to go like deep on each vertical as you see fit. And then lastly, we have what we call our et cetera section. So that's kind of, it's not so much news as fun or noteworthy headlines from around the world. Sometimes it's cute dog pictures. Sometimes it's the best restaurants in the country. So not news, but interesting and noteworthy and a good thing to talk about in the elevator.
It's great. That's great. And how does the company generate revenue?
99% of our revenue comes from native advertisers within the newsletter. So we work with partners kind of across industries because we have this like such a broad span of coverage. We work with brands in finance and apparel and food and bev, CPG, et cetera. So we make roughly a nickel, a little over a nickel per open, and that's kind of where the business is today.
Very cool. And so how are you growing the business? You've obviously, scaled it quite a bit, and through that, I'm sure have iterated, different customer acquisition, kind of strategies. When you look at that, what's effective for you?
Yeah, our favorite acquisition channel and one of the most consistent up till today has been just organic or referral growth, I should say. Mm-hmm. So our biggest or our favorite channel is just when readers love what they're reading, and they have the highest engagement rates in the industry. So many of them do love what they're reading, and they tell their parents, their siblings, their kids, their neighbors, their coworkers about 1440, and we get those we get those subscribers that way. We're a free product. There's so little barrier to entry that we find that referral growth has been really prominent for us. But beyond that, we also grow pretty consistently and significantly from paid social ads, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, et cetera, and also through newsletter ads, actually. So we sponsor a lot of other newsletters in the industry, mm-hmm. and send traffic to our newsletter base that way.
Very cool. That's great. And people always wonder about as they're writing content or as they're building an audience, who their buyer personas are. How did you guys hone in on learning about who your buyer personas are, and who are those personas?
Yeah, we think we're in this very, very fortunate space of having a massive market. And I think that speaks volumes to the current American political and media climate. But our reader, the archetype of our reader is just American adult, basically, age 20 and up, and not a whole lot other than that. We do skew college educated. That's like one slight skew we have. But other than that, it's just people who want to change their media consumption, or who want their media to be, or who want their news to be more consolidated and more comprehensive. So it's very, very cool, but we think we have an addressable market of 150 million Americans. So it's very, very broad, and makes targeting, insofar as we do any targeting, very easy for us. Right.
Yeah. It's an ocean. Yeah, that makes sense. That's really cool. How do people find you?
Yeah, you can find us at join1440.com, join1440.com, and it's totally free to subscribe, and there's no barriers that we're of to start reading more comprehensive and impartial daily news source.
Very cool. Well, I just signed up prior to the call here, so looking forward to reading the content that you send me.
Yeah, hope you enjoy, and we love feedback. So if there's anything we can do to improve, we hope you'll let us know.
Excellent. All right, Pierre, this has been great. Thanks so much. Pierre from join1440.com. 1440, great news source. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.